Welcome to Real Estate U with Lettiann.
Hey, Julie Gadwood back with us. Thank you for coming back to be on our podcast, Real Estate U with Lettiann. So Julie Gadwood is Next Home Gadwood Group. Julie is broker owner here in the KC Metro. And as I say on all my podcasts and all my guests, support local. I think a lot of people think some of these real estate offices are local when they're not. But there are franchise and there's all that kind of stuff too. But I strongly encourage people to hire humans in their backyard.
Yes, very good. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So just to recap, our previous podcast with you was really great. We talked about how, what makes a good agent. Mm-hmm. And we also kind of said what makes a bad agent. And we say bad, but I just don't think they fully... for whatever reason. But anyway, you can tune into that podcast on how to be a good agent. So now today we're going to just kind of continue on with how to build a great team, how to build a great office. Now, you and I both don't like the word team because there's so many definitions of what, you're on a team. What does that look like?
Right.
Because some people are on a team. Right. And they have one role in that team.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, both of our offices, everyone's buyer's agent, seller's agent, and does all of that. So we don't really have the team concept.
I have teams within my office, but I use the word team when I speak of my group, if you will.
Right.
Because we all, all have the same goal and wear the same jersey and root for the same mascot. And
right.
So that's my version of a team, but not the typical scenario of the team with the
I just think people are confused. People are confused by that sometimes.
It's a loose term. I mean...
Because when people hire a team, sometimes they see you at the listing appointment, then they see Bobby at, for that, and then they see Susie, who they never met. So, but anyway.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
That's to death. Now let's talk about some fun things. So I think you and I really are in tune with creating a culture in our offices.
Yes.
I just think that a culture of like-minded, and I'm all for customer-driven, customer-first realtors. Mm-hmm. I tell my, and I use the word associates just so I don't use the word team.
Right.
So I tell my associates, we're better together. So we're going to sit at the conference room table, and I'm going to hear your war story of the week, and I'm going to learn something from it.
Right.
But we all learn from each other, as opposed to somebody sort of flying by night, off on their own, hoping it all works out, sort of throwing a dart at their transactions.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important to hear other people's, stories in real estate, and that collaboration is so important. And I do hear that when agents come to my office, they're like, everybody's so helpful. We're all independent contractors. Mm-hmm. If this person makes a sale, that person isn't getting paid, but they help each other.
We're human beings.
Right.
I think some people forget. There's like 10,000 licensed people out there that forget.
I even had an agent who said I was warned not to get into real estate because people are not, in the office are not friendly, and it's all dog eat dog. And then she joined my brokerage and she goes, what were they talking about? And I said, well, not this brokerage. Mm-hmm. That's not what they were talking about. So I'm sure it's out there, but
I've heard it's out there.
Yeah. But not under my roof and not under yours. So, yeah.
Right. And I lost my train of thought, but so I think in these larger, maybe big box offices, people don't really have someone, because just like when you arrived here at our office, you're like, can you come, I could ask you a question. Here's what happened to me yesterday. Yeah. And like you
bounce things off. Yeah.
But not just you, it's like even, and we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
But our associates or our people, people in your office, they just want someone to tell their story to. And, did that end okay? Or do you think that went right? Or what could I have done? I just think they really, really appreciate having someone to bounce it off of.
Well, exactly. And even, within your office, or you and I do not work for the same brokerage, but I'll bounce stuff off you and you'll bounce stuff off me. And that's okay, from a broker level. So I think just that giving, that kind of collaboration, let's get, the more you can educate even co-op agents who maybe aren't doing that great, hey, maybe educate them. Hey,
Give them a little guidance.
Hey, don't miss your 10-day inspection period. Don't miss, show up at the appraisal, do stuff, because someone isn't telling them that in their office.
I know.
So it's not going to hurt me to tell them that, even though they don't work for me, because next time I work with them, maybe they'll be better,
And I always put those agents that I work with in my phone. And I love, like a year later, I'll be like, hey, Susie, hey, I haven't heard from you all year.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, wow, Lettiann, I didn't think you'd remember me or whatever.
Yeah.
So I encourage my folks, put those co-op agents in your phone, because we're all wanting to get to the same end result together in the most painless way possible for each of our clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
But why don't people play nice in the sandbox, Julie?
Well, maybe again, it's culture. It's they maybe come from a brokerage where they hear people, yelling at other people. I don't, it's like anything. It's
or maybe
who you
they don't even get along. I mean, and again, not pointing fingers, but maybe the office people aren't hey, can I bounce this off of you?
Right.
Or maybe they're like, Susie's too busy to talk to me. Oh crap! I don't even want to ask anyone now. I feel really bad. Like, who do I go to? And then they try to fumble through it.
Right. Or they hear people in their office. And when I negotiate, I'm not fighting with the other agent. I'm trying to get to the finish line.
Right.
I'm presenting my case. They're presenting theirs. When I hear agents yelling at each other in a negotiation, what is that?
Agents kill deals.
Well,
they do. They can.
Well, they can. And I had to pull an agent in once and say, listen, you're just trying to present your case. You're not, this isn't, nobody, wins in the end. Mm-hmm. You're not, the louder you scream doesn't mean you're in a better position. You're actually losing power. So I don't know. I just think maybe it's who they surround themselves with and who their mentor is. And I don't think that's a great thing.
And two things I sometimes see is they have a lawyer mentality. Like, well, I'm going to show my client, I'm going to earn my commission. Mm-hmm. You're not telling me that I get paid too much. Mm-hmm. I'll show you. I'm going to tell them off. You have that. I see that. Mm-hmm. And then I also see if let's say your client is really upset and maybe they're being loud, like they're telling you, oh my God, we're not going to come down anymore. We can't. We're, blah. Yeah. You need, as the professional, you need to process and digest, then make that call and say, look, that's as far as we can go.
Right.
You don't need to convey that whole, oh my God, you upset my seller.
Exactly.
And who do you think you are? And it's like, okay, no, you're just the conveyor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And when it gets too emotional or, you're losing your professionalism. You have to be professional and remember the end game. You're representing your client. You're trying to get, everybody to the finish line. Someone needs to sell a house. Someone needs to buy a house. Let's just get there. There's two agents involved. Let's work together, and that's, I've had a lot of great co-op agents. And
me too.
But totally. The bad ones, I'll never forget.
Yeah.
I will never forget. I do plug in the good ones and keep them in my phone. The bad ones and I should not say the word bad, but the situations that were not great.
What's a synonym for bad, Andy? All right. Well, we'll come back to that. So how do we take this business back? Because what's happening is for lack of a better word, the agents that have this different mentality of not customer first or not maybe that empathetic piece. Yeah, they're giving the rest of us a bad name.
Well, and I do
in the
think
business a bad name,
right? But the fortunate thing about you and I, we have our own brokerage, so we can make sure every agent in our brokerage is quality. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's not quantity, it's quality. And I would rather have $1 than 100 pennies. I want quality. I don't want I don't want to just increase my agent count so I can say I have a lot of agents. I want all those agents, I want to feel good about them being there. So I think, from a brokerage level, if we build a great culture, train our agents and send them out there and, just like our children, give them good morals, ethics, values, educate them, send them out there into the world, and they'll be good people. Mm-hmm. From a broker level, we have that advantage that we can do this and teach them and feel good and guide them and answer the calls when they call. And then they'll be good agents. And then it would be nice to have the ripple effect and make sure that every agent in there is being nurtured and, guided so that they are good. So, I think we can't conquer the world, but we can sure try at our, in our own homes. So.
Right. Because there are a lot of licensed people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of licensed
You have
people.
to be 18. You have to take
this
a class.
This is great for even the...
Yeah.
Go, keep going.
18, take a test, pass a class, find a broker to hang your license, pay some dues. Yeah, that's
and off
really...
you go.
And off you go. So that's a little scary.
Almost too easy to get a license.
Yeah.
So why do people feel that they don't need a realtor? Or are they just afraid? Is it kind of like, I don't want to talk to the car dealer yet. I just want to scope the lot. Don't...
I think I hear when I meet people who are very anti-realtor, I feel like they've had a bad experience.
Totally.
They feel like this realtor threw a sign in the yard and walked away. And so I think it's our job to educate them on what our value is because that's their impression. And when houses are selling in 24 hours and they see that we made, X amount of commission, in their mind, that was 24 hours that we worked. That's not the case. But that's on us. We have to educate them. We can't assume they know that we're meeting appraisers, negotiating inspections, calling vendors, reverse prospecting, social media that's on us to let them know that. And sometimes, we fail at that. I know I do, because it's like, I just want to get through the transaction and I don't want to let them know, here's what I did. I answered my phone.
They'll see it. I don't even think you need to tell them.
Yeah.
I think they'll see your interaction, your involvement, your time spent, you pick up the phone when they call. Oh, we haven't had a showing all month. I always encourage my associates, call that seller once a week.
Absolutely.
Well, we haven't had any showings. What am I going to say?
Talk about.
Doesn't matter. Well, what do I say? Don't have a paralysis. Simply pick up the phone. Hello. Hey, I just wanted to check. All they want to do is hear from you.
Yeah.
Because they think you're, off at Cabo.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
they think you're just
chilling on a raft somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to let them know. Here's what we did this week. We sent out a couple of flyer blasts. We've canvassed the neighborhood. We're having that open house next Sunday.
And basically, it all boils back down to I care. I care. My sign is in your yard, and I want a contract as bad as you. But if you don't relay that information, they don't know it.
They think you've ghosted them.
Yeah. And I remember back in, the days when we were in the real estate recession and houses would be on the market for 12 months. It was so hard to talk to those sellers because you had nothing to say.
It keeps you up at night.
Oh, it did.
Keeps me up at night sometimes.
Absolutely. Oh, it does. Yeah.
But every home has a buyer.
Yeah.
And once you've changed or fixed everything, the only thing you can change is the price. So, those are difficult conversations to have. But your team member, your associate, they need to know you've got to have these conversations.
Right.
Because you not calling them is going to make you look far worse than you ghosting them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, their house is, it's all my fault. No, it's not your fault. Let's
think
look
it's
at the price.
Smart to provide information. Here's what's sold. Here's what's hit the market. Here's who reduced price. Have some stats to back your call. Here's how many showings have happened in that time frame. Why is it not us? Why did that house go pending and we didn't? Well, let's talk about that,
Right.
And that shows you care, and it shows you come from a place of education, not just, oh, I don't know, hope we get a contract. You have some stats to kind of verify.
Well, and you're still, the seller knows that you still have them on your radar. You're not just like off doing something else or they're not important anymore. And it's like kind of like when you're dating, like, oh, we dated and you were always so attentive and now we're married and where are you?
Yeah. It's a relationship, it's
not my marriage. I love you, baby.
It's a relationship. And like anything, you have to nurture it and care for it. And, and that's why I won't take on too many listings. I just won't take too many because I can only give so much of myself to each seller. And that's fine with me. It works for me.
You'd rather give 150% than 75% to 5 more listings.
Oh, she was spread so thin. Her sign was in every yard. That's not what I want because that one good seller will now refer me to 20 people. And that's how I have, built my business off repeat referral, because they're good people, and good people surround themselves with good people. So it's fun for me. And if someone's not a good client and not fun to work with, I don't want their referrals. I don't.
You just kind of, and I kind of feel like I'm talking to myself. Does that make sense? Like I feel like what you're saying is I could ditto everything you're saying, and I could tell it's coming from here.
Yeah.
And it does for me too. I get really excited. So,
Yeah.
where are we?
5 minutes.
Okay. So we're talking about how to build a great team. And, good help is hard to find. Not a team, an office, what have you.
Well, and culture.
And
I think
culture is huge.
Yeah.
We've already talked about kind of who we might be looking for, that person that really cares about humans over houses, which I love that.
Yeah, isn't that great?
And that's your hashtag. Mine is hashtag better together.
I like that.
Because we're all playing up. We're all, whoever we surround ourselves with is who we become.
Right.
So who are you hanging out with? And who do you need to cut from your list?
Right. And I do think when you say culture, people can use that word, I can have a big banner on the wall that says this, this, and that. But if you're not living that, why have it on your wall?
Or bringing those people aboard that fit that profile.
Right. I mean, if you really believe this is my values, don't put people in your company that don't support those values. The people who, I just want to make a sale, I don't care if it affects this person in a negative way. I need to pay my mortgage. That's not who I want in my company.
Me neither.
I want people who really care, and people who are excited at the end of the day that their client found the first home, or that
they got pre-approved.
Yeah, or that their client had the ability to walk away from a bad deal, not, oh boy, if this doesn't close. I had a situation recently where an agent said, I can't let not in my brokerage or yours, but the agent was basically, I can't let this deal fall apart because I've taken a loan on my commissions that were coming in. So I don't even understand that whole deal or how that works, but that scared me to death.
Sounds like a fine waiting to happen.
Yeah. So, and again, I don't know all the logistics of that, but I just thought, if it's about you and not your, I'm sorry, I keep hitting that. If it's not about, if it's about you and not your client, you're never going to come from the best place and represent your client.
Yeah. Who you hire matters. I use that hashtag a lot. Who you hire matters, and who you work with matters.
Yeah.
Because it's so true.
Yeah.
So how do we find these? Any rock star realtors out there who aren't getting the support of their broker or maybe their manager or their office, but really has a goal, or you're looking to really succeed in this business, but you need a mentor and a supportive office and a group of like-minded individuals, give Julie and I a call. Well, I don't know why you're laughing. I'm being very serious, because there's 10,000.
No, I agree.
Well, there's more than 11,000
Yeah.
licensed persons in the Kansas City metro area.
Right.
They all can't be happy where they are.
Right. Yeah.
If you're not getting what you want, give Julie and I a call. So actually, Julie's contact information will be on this podcast. And of course, mine will be too. So we can both meet you for coffee.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and mine is. It's right there. Oh, yeah, it's right here.
There you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Josh, for
Yeah.
putting that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a call and give Julie a call.
Yeah.
We'd love to help you.
Yeah. And again, I do think it's, you have to find a brokerage where you're comfortable and you feel wanted and you feel important. And not that, you can make everybody in your brokerage feel like they're number one, but just being available for people, I think, is so important. And I know you are with your people.
And I think we have about 2 minutes, but at the end of the day, that licensed person, they need to know what's in store for them. Uh-huh. And it's not, I'm going to give you 10 referrals a month. No, this is your business.
Absolutely.
I tell the folks here, if there's a referral coming your way, look at it as a bonus and not as, the only lead I had is the referral you gave me last month. No, that's not. This is your business.
Right.
What are you doing to cast a net, to introduce yourself to people so people know, like, and trust you, and they'll hire you?
Right.
Because here's the deal: we can take those consumers and who've had a bad experience, and we're going to pray that they have one of our agents and they have changed their mindset about real estate agents.
Right. I love it because when we close a house, we have an automatic system that kind of asks how'd it go, what was the review, and the reviews I read are so heartfelt, about my agents. She really cared, she listened, she
listen to these keywords.
Never
people.
missed a phone call.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a consumer who didn't have to say that. And I just love that. That's what makes me sleep well at night.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you. I'm super proud of you and your successes.
Well, thank you.
I'm delighted we crossed paths a few years ago.
I am too.
And I do feel like we hit it off instantly, and we were.
Yeah, I agree.
We stayed in touch, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and thank you for having me on this. It's my first podcast, and
yay!
I'm a little nervous to see it. So, but I enjoy spending time with you, so that's why I'm glad we did it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Julie Gadwood, thank you for being here. Next Home Gadwood Group, locally owned business here in the Kansas City Metro, and of course, we are Support Local. And we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.